Hey everyone, sorry for being a bit late today. I was busy watching a movie, Heaven's Feel. Maybe you guys should watch that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But today they revealed the last VR for Bermuda Triangle, which is pretty. Everyone's been kind of hyped about it because it's the same artist that did Minerva from before, and that was a pretty good card. It's T2. So yeah, let's go take a look at the new cards that are revealed. Right. So first we have Fresher's Innovate Rosalinda. So Con Regard Circle. During your turn, if this unit's circle has a force marker, this Happiness Heart Lupina on your Vanguard Circle gets power plus 10k. And then second effect is when placed, cost Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 5 cards at the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Lupina or Dagny from among them and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So pretty good. Soul Blast 1 though is kind of a bit of a heavy cost, but it works on Vanguard and Regard Circle. Can search for like 2 cards, so I guess it's okay. I mean, other cards are like top 7 check, but that's only Vanguard Circle, so, you know, Vanguard and Regard Circle is a good plus. The first one's interesting, gives you a Lupina on Vanguard plus 10k, so it's pretty much like a force marker on your Vanguard Circle, right? So, pretty good. Second effect is the grade 2, Unique Allure Dagny. During your turn, Regard Circle Con, if there is a force marker on this unit's circle, the original critical of the Happiness Heart Lupina on your Vanguard Circle becomes 2. So unlucky Twitter, you cannot edit your tweet, but yeah, it turns your Vanguard Circle, Lupina on the Vanguard Circle into a critical 2, so it's like a force 2, right? Second effect is when placed on the Vanguard or Regard Circle, Soul Charge 1. If Happiness Heart Lupina or Fresh's Innovate Rosalinda is on your Vanguard Circle or Regard Circle, Soul Charge 1. So effectively it's a Soul Charge 1, but a Soul Charge 2 if you have the Lupina cards, right? And then lastly, we have Happiness Heart Lupina. So act Vanguard Circle once per turn, Soul Blast 2. Look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck. Call up to 1 normal unit from among them to Regard Circle and shuffle your deck. If you called, get an imaginary gift force and put that marker on the Regard Circle that unit is on. Okay, so Soul Blast 2 can't be denied. You'll always get a free card unless you don't have the soul. And just a +1 and get a free force. So that's pretty good, pretty good. Second effect is Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, you may counterblast 1 and stand all your regards on circles of a force marker. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's like Mordred plus effect, right? It gives you a reason to put the force markers in the back row, right? Because you first put on the fronts, so you get 5 attacks. You know, 5 attack force deck. That's the new cool. But then, once you put it on the back row, you can stand like a Sedna for 13k. And that's, like, the Sedna itself is like 23. So, on the second turn of your grade 3 ride, you are basically hitting like a giant truck. If you think about it, right? Think about it. Your front row, let's say you have like 2 10ks in your front row. There's a 20k front row. And then you got a Sedna or two Sednas, or like 2 like Rosalindas, right? The support in the back. Those are 18k boosters, so 38, 38 on the side. And then if they were Rosalindas, your Lupina has like a 33k beatdown with a crit, without any force markers on it. So seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Out of all the VRs released for Bermuda Triangle so far, this is basically the most complete one, and it scales pretty insanely. In terms of like the good cards in Bermuda Triangle, all the VRs that are released so far, yeah, Lupina is definitely on top, I think, and then followed by like Plon or Ange. And I think both of them, this definitely does require more testing. This is my initial impressions. Plon might be a bit too slow in my opinion. Ange, you kind of have to build around her, but Lupina herself is just like complete package, right? You play Lupina, play Dagny, play Rosalinda, you're ready to rock, right? You can play any other cards that you want in the deck, and you're just ready to go. So, pretty interesting. It's actually, although it is just like kind of a weird clone of Mordred, it actually changes the playstyle a bit, where before, you know, who would ever think of putting a force marker on the back row, right? I mean, people have been putting Protect 2 markers on the back row because there was some intercepts from there. But now you put in force markers on the back row, you kind of make your side columns full of force markers. You don't put it on the don't put on your Vanguard booster, by the way, because it doesn't matter if that restands or not. So far. But yeah, it's putting on the both everything. It's kind of flavorful in a way, where, you know, idols get the spotlight and it's the force bank. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some bad things. So Rosalinda, right? Let's go back to Rosalinda. Rosalinda's good. Rosalinda solves that Mordred problem where your Mordred hits like a wet noodle, you know, 18k. Do you want to guard that? Sure, bro. Yeah, just 20k guard. Just makes your Vanguard fat. Pretty much, she writes that she gives a force marker as long as she's on the field. So, although Lupina only gives 2 force markers, you actually get 3. So it's like Luard, but you get it quicker. So you can't really like just easy guard Lupina anymore. But I guess with Dagny, it's kind of weird. Like Dagny, the crit pressure, only useful if your opponent is kind of on 3. That's when the pressure really comes into play. But when they're at 3 or that kind of damage level, they'll just like no guard the rear guards, right? So just take those, guard the Vanguard, and then when they're at 5 damage or high damage, where they can't no guard the restands anymore, they have to guard this. They have to guard this anyway. I guess if your opponent's like 0 or 1 damage, then this is kind of useful in just pushing more damage. But those situations, I don't think are as, you know, I don't think they come up as much. So I guess the crit on this is just a bit more lackluster than the power. But overall, one thing I do want to point out is that is the power enough, right? If we think about back in Mordred as well, Mordred's dangerous mode was Danger Lunge. When they dropped that stacked Danger Lunge, that's when you knew you were in trouble. Bermuda, in my opinion, so far doesn't have a Danger Lunge. Like they might have like things like Tira, which can push extra attacks if you bounce enough cards. They also have the new cards that like if they discard 2 copies of itself, they can stand to push that extra attack. But apart from that, they don't really have that threatening option. So they're basically relying on this restanding power, and you have to wonder if that restanding power is enough. So other thing is that when I look at Lupina, although I think Lupina is a great card, it's going to make a big impact if you're a Bermuda player. Definitely, you know, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. Unless you can make the other stuff work. And I mean, the only thing I've tested so far is Highlander. And I can tell you, Highlander is tier 1 on the fun meter, but it's also not a top tier deck. You can ask Andy because he never hits with a grade 3 of Highlander at all. He always rides grade 2. So yeah, I don't think that's really where it's at. But yeah, Lupina is definitely like the more competitive build. But is it better than like Gurgud, right? Gurgud. Like Gurgud, when I just look at that, scale's great, multi attacks, 11 attacks at plus 20k, plus 30k, so or more attacks. So this is stuck on like 5 attacks, but sure, they hit big, you know, force markers and all that, 5 attack force clan. But I don't really see this better than Gurgud. So maybe this is a situation where, for the first time in V, Bermuda Triangle is not a tier 1 deck. It's like a tier 1.5 deck or a tier 2 deck. Now, don't quote me on that, because so far, Bermuda Triangle has just been dominating on all their releases. So probably someone's going to think of something and I'm going to have to eat my words. But so far, my initial impressions, Gurgud is still the best deck in the format from these reveals. And yeah, Lupina sure is good, but not as amazing as Gurgud. So I mean, I'll test this. I'll probably test it on Saturday, and then we can find out if it's good or not. But yeah, that's it for me for today. Great reveals on Friday. It's Dauntless and Fromage, which is pretty good. Can't wait to see the V retrains. But apart from that, I will see you guys next. Let me know in the comments below if you think Lupina is the way to go, if you like the fish or not. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.